Hello and welcome, this is Nikot the Brave, and today we're going to be going over a build guide for the Spirit Walker in Path of Exile 2. We don't have the full build planner yet because we only just got the patch notes, and I'm going based off that along with the previous version of the skill tree, the passive skill tree. This is not a league starter. Overall plan for this is to be companion based, basically how they showed in the example video that GGG posted a little while back. And so this is what I got so far. When we get the full understanding of the actual skill tree, I'll probably update this to make sure that it's appropriate with the new companion nodes they'll be adding. But right now I've got several different custom configurations according to the Spirit Walker ascendancy. For example, I theoretically have 7 different idols in my equipment. So I have 14% increased reservation efficiency of skills, and then I have companions deal 70% increased damage. And then I also added the 84% increased damage for the level 20 skill gems. The companions deal 84% more damage specifically. Based off the patch notes description. And then I will, even though it's not allocated right now because it'll mess up the statistics, we'll be taking Trusted Kinship, and then I have that specifically stated in here with 30% increased reservation of companion skills. Then I also have 20% reduced reservation efficiency of non-companion skills. Now, this is just, it doesn't work right now, so we'll have to deal with that when it comes, the calculations and whatnot. It shouldn't really matter. I'm only putting in a few skeleton clerics. According to Crypt, that don't really do anything, so it may not be worth it, but I don't really know what else to put my spirit into, so that's what we've got right now. We've got 2, but we can put 1 more, but I'm planning on switching around my companions, and I'll show you those in just a bit. Then we also have the node that adds the damage to your companions, but I was not able to get this to work. Maybe it works in POB 1, but it does not work in POB 2. At least I have not been able to get the wording correct in any sense of the way. And when I was asking on stream earlier in Gazzy's stream, I didn't get an answer for it. So overall, we'll be going energy shield, evasion, and deflection with some life. So 2k life, 3k energy shield. Well, this is okay. But before we go forward, this is based off of tier 2 gear. So everything is max tier 2. We've got tier 2 energy shield, tier 2 whatever, tier 2 life. It's not really attainable gear but it's not tier 1 everything. So that's just a disclaimer I wanted to post out. Realistically, I should probably put it like tier 3 or something, because that's more of a realistic goal, at least for me, to get on the market or whatever. So in these calculations, we've got 2k life, 3k energy shield, 12k evasion, and then 48% deflection rating with some armor, and we'll see why we have that. But we have cap resistances, and whatever else. All right, so for our skills, we'll be using 3 different animal companions. We'll be these ones don't really matter. We'll be changing them during the game, but I suspect that we'll probably be using the wasp, and then maybe the elephant tortoise, as well as the boss pet. We may switch out the elephant tortoise with the boss pet, but it just depends on how effective it is. If it has more health or whatever. For these, we'll also be using wolf pack, and then also the Asmeri wolf, because eventually we'll get that scepter, whether we buy it or we can find it. We'll get that scepter with you can use as many animal companion skills as you want to. So we'll be using wolf pack. We have 8 wolves. It says so in the description. Just basic support nose, feeding frenzy, brutality, heavy swing, bleed, and mini mastery. Bleed just because it can interact with some poison that we have on another critter. And then we have the gargantuan wasp. I have all of these set with Infernal Legion. I'm not sure if that's... I need to do more research on that. It may just be you set one with one Infernal Legion, but I have all of the actual companions, not the wolf pack, but the actual companions that have health. I have them set with the Infernal Legion tag. In fact, I should probably take it off the gargantuan wasp since it does not have that much of a health pool, but it may just add extra damage that things can be used for. I may replace it with, say, the new rage support or the melee splash support, or change 2 of these for the melee, or maybe change mini mastery for the splash support and Infernal Legion for the rage support for this gargantuan wasp. Then you've got the elephant tortoise. I have this one. I heard that its Fire interacts with Infernal Legion, so we get like a bunch of extra damage. And I have Poison 3 just to interact with the bleeding, because this one has a pretty good wrong statistics. But okay, so this one has like 22k life, but it does a lot of single hit damage, so it should be able to get some good poison procs off. And then I have the Quadrilla, which is just there. It should be being replaced with the boss pet. We should have enough spirit to be able to get the boss pet. And we've got the Summon Clerics, we've got Brutus's Brain to make sure that the clerics don't die. And then I also have Pain Offering to... I only have the one that doesn't sacrifice both of them, so I'm not sure if we can get 3 Skeleton Clerics, so I just have one with Sacrificial Offering, because it may use our life, but we're not going to be hurting on life, let's just say that. So we have Pain Offering up to our maximum that we can deal with, which is with our current equipment stats, it's level 18, should be fine. Got Vulnerability, same level 18. I have some supports on it, you don't really need these. Hate and Curse is good, Efficiency is good. Decaying Hex, it's just additional damage. Swift Affliction with Decaying Hex, it adds some additional damage that can be used for, just, I don't know, whatever. Sorry, that wasn't the best way to explain it. But then you've got the scepter, which has discipline on it. I do not have any of the supports on it because I'm still unsure. They didn't state it in the patch notes. They fixed it, but you may still be able to add all the supports for free on it. So, you know, maybe we'll do that. And then we have these three at the bottom: Whirling Slash, Twister, and Barrage. These are just extra attack skills. I'm not sure if we'll have enough gems for them, or gem slots for them, but, you know, if we do, these will be extra damage. So Whirling Slash, I haven't put any supports in because I don't really, I've not been through the leveling build for this yet, so I need to go through that and then update this with the best like supports for these things. So like Whirling Slash, I know that rapid attacks helps with, you know, getting the bigger Twister or whatever, and then not Whirlwind, and then you use Twister to create the Twisters to blast out at people, and it's just extra damage. It should do a lot of extra damage because we have this particular node, Inspiring Ally, increases and reductions in companion damage are applied to you, and so we already have like a bunch of stuff, and then we've got the idols, and so we should have a lot of increased damage on our end to support this particular thing. It's not going to be like a crit build or anything like that, but it should deal additional damage for our build and give us something to do other than cast vulnerability or whatever. So with that being said, what we are going to be focusing on regarding uniques are these two things right here. We have Reverie and then Chevron's Satchel. So Reverie specifically has non-unique life flasks apply their effects constantly, and we can scale our life flasks pretty high with just a few points in the skill tree. And so in fact, these runes, I think I need to take them off because I will not be using those runes for on the actual build. At least I don't think I will be. So we have Reverie. It does have 40 to 60%, I think it was, less life flask recovery, but that should be overcome with our passive skill tree. So right here we have Catalyzed Ultimate Life Blast. We have the top end 70% recovery rate, and it says we have 2,252 life over 1.5 seconds. Now let's get the calculator. That's 2,552 divided by 1.5. Okay, so that's 1,700 life per second with our current skill tree. And then we also have Chevron's Satchel, which adds 1,700 energy shield per second. So that's let's see. Whoops. 3,400 total, basically like effective hit points being regenerated per second, which is pretty cool. I do like my regeneration builds, and this one seems pretty good. And it seems pretty good with all of the energy shield nerfs. So, with this particular thing, what's very important is this hard to kill node. This effectively negates the Chevron Satchel reduced flask life recovery rate. It basically eliminates this issue with this, and this is the only node that does that. The increased life recovery from flasks, that's a different calculation. So this one, it basically just increases the number, and not anything else. So we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15, plus that one. So 16 points in the tree for our recovery, life flask recovery. So it should be able to be applied to everything. All of our, if we get hit, it should be regenerated fairly quickly. So, as long as we're not being hit all the time, or not one shot, which, we should have enough defenses to not be one shot, but, I'm still wary of this physical hit number, but I haven't really gotten a build that, actually has that high. Like, even with very high armor builds, the physical hit percent, it's still very low in my eyes comparatively to like the elemental and chaos. But with this tree, we have this particular notable, I believe, is that Keystone. Oasis says you cannot use charms and 30% more recovery from flasks. That's pretty important because it's a multiplier. So it increases the recovery rate that we get. And charms, they're useful, but we don't really need to use them that much out there. So, and then we've got our companion nodes. I plan on modifying this to include these. So right now we only have the damage nodes, but when we get the new tree, I plan on actually eliminating this entire section right here and dedicating, eliminating like all of these little offshoots. I plan on dedicating the rest of the points that we get from taking these off into whatever the new companion skills are. So there should be at least 12 within this zone. I know that they said 19, but I personally expect that there's going to be at least 6 that appear over here with the rest of the other companion nodes that, kind of are in this zone. And then the rest of them go in here, and whether or not they're damage nodes or they're defense nodes, I'm not entirely sure, but we'll have to see. But overall, that's what the plan is for taking these out and putting them into the new skill tree. So there are a few notes that I wanted to make. Is we're not taking Nurturing Guardian. I think that's what it is. Nurturing Guardian. Because on Reverie, we cannot apply our life flasks to anything other than ourselves. So this would be a waste. And also, we do not take this because we're taking skeleton clerics, which we may even just delete those from the build. It depends on how it plays out, and maybe we'll pick these up. But as of right now, since we have two different sets, we have the skeleton clerics, which are regular minions, and then we've got the 5 or 6 different companions. We can't use these because the skeleton clerics cancels it out. And then you've got these ones. We don't have anything to immobilize enemies. We don't have any sources of pin or anything like that, so we can't do that. But we will be getting this, which is 20% increased maximum life, which means 20% increased Infernal Legion damage. And then we've got the other ones right here, which also increase our defenses. All of them. It's not just energy shield or evasion rating. It is energy shield, evasion rating, armor, and then I don't think it's deflection. It's probably not deflection. In the calculation it says deflection because I have deflection nodes. But if I take those out, it's probably not going to say that. So, the rest of the stuff is just evasion rating, evasion rating, deflection rating. Now, if for some reason we are running out of dexterity or something, we can always pick up this node. That's 3 points for that'd be 33, I think. Extra dexterity if we need it, but I don't really expect that we will. Now these gems, jewels. We have increased evasion rating, recovery from life flasks, elemental ailment thresholds, and increased damage. Now, technically, that should be enough. We should be good with that. But if for some reason we are not good with the jewels that we have, we can always go up here. If we don't get rid of this branch, we can go up here, we can get this one, and we can put one of these Anamanu jewels. What were they called? Undying Hate? Anumanu. I'm not sure if the actual number matters in this case. but we have that. Let's just allocate this for right now, and we'll put in Undying Hate. Then we'll go back to the tree, and both of these should be Sacrifice of Flesh. So in this case, we only need this one, and this will prevent 20% damage, and then replay that at 150% over 4 seconds. Now, due to the way our regen works, we should have plenty of regen to overcome whatever damage we took from that hit. So if we really needed to get additional survivability, we could do that. I don't expect we'll need to, but that's an option. Now, I wish there were better options down here. There just really aren't. That have like keystone passives that we can actually use, like this middle one. There's no keystone passives down there. This one, there's no keystone passives there. This one, there's no keystone passives there, and we have passives that we're allocating right there. So it's not, this entire section is not very useful for these I forgot what types, timeless jewels, for these timeless jewels to be placed. So maybe, let's see. Okay, I don't like that pathing. I should have done that one. But so we'll check this out. But that's so far away. That's like an additional 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10 points versus, say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so it's a bit more efficient, but it's still not ideal, at least in my opinion, if we were to cut this branch at some point. So let's just leave it at that for right now. But overall, the DPS is not accurate. We're not including the spear damage correctly into the build, because I can't do that. I don't know what it's going to look like. Could be good, could be bad. We'll see. And then we also don't have the accurate boss damage. We don't know if they're going to be updating creatures. I don't believe they do that in this game. But maybe the creature attacks will be updated and do more damage or less damage, or we did see on some of those skills, like the boss one, it had 100%. It was either increased or more companion damage. So maybe that could be factored into these calculations, but I'm not entirely sure. And so overall, I mean, this build should be survivable. It should provide some activity, and have also the fantasy of having your companions do the work, if that's possible. I mean, overall we have, I think it's +5 +5 to our companions. Now, technically, if we were doing something else, and we didn't have all these companions, we could boost up to like 30 with a different scepter, and then even more, possibly 33 with the, what was it called? Oh, it's not a jewel. 200 mace. Chober Choppa. Okay, so this particular one, I think they got rid of this line and added +3 to minion skills. So technically, we might be able to get this one if you were able to solve the 300 int requirement and get Giant's Blood. You may be able to get 33 for companions, which is pretty good, ideally. So overall, that's my plan for this is not a league starter, but this is my plan for my end game build for this upcoming Path of Exile 2 season in a couple days. Or at least I guess a week from now. And so I hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you've maybe learned something about the interactions, maybe, or maybe got insight into the Reverie unique, or maybe the new scepter, or something, or anything. I hope you've enjoyed it. This has been Nikot the Brave. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Peace out, yo.